guys, so today me and my brother were making Carné Guisada. He's chopping up the bell peppers and we've already chopped up our meat. And he's put 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil or canola oil in here and we're getting ready to put everything in there. So
start off first by browning the meat. I like to put a little bit of flavor in there first with the meat.
So stay tuned.
Hi, it's us again. I'm going to put a medium onion and a medium bell pepper, roughly chopped. I don't like them all uniform. I like them, rustic style. So I'm going to chop that up. I'm going to put up the onion and bell pepper that's left, and I'm going to chop up a couple of jalapeños. You can seed them or not, depending on how hot you want your meat. And since this is for everybody, we're going to seed the jalapeños. So back in a minute. We put our 2 tablespoons of oil in our Dutch oven, which is right here. That's a high quality pan. It evenly cooks the meat. We've got about 4 pounds of shoulder roast in here. I'm going to season it with fresh cracked pepper, which is what I like. So I like a generous amount to make it not too spicy, but give it some flavor. And then we're going to salt it as well. If you don't put enough salt, your meat will not have any flavor. So probably about a teaspoon. Now I also have this. I like the Knorr flavored bouillons. I'm going to be using 1 beef when we get ready to saute the meat as it cooks for about 3 to 4 hours. Now this kind of meat, the Giesel, takes about 2 to 4 hours to get soft, make the meat real soft and tender like how Mom used to make it. So that's what we're going to do today. That's why we're starting it at 2 o'clock. It'll be ready by 6. So I'm going to put this into the pan now so they can be brown. You're going to hear it splash. And once it's brown, we're going to take the meat out and put it in another pan while we do the vegetables.
Stay tuned.
Put in a little bit more pepper here. If you don't want to smoke out your house, turn on the vinegar. Ours is an automatic one, which comes up here so you don't have the whole house smelling. And it's on. As the meat starts to brown, as you can see, we're going to let it get all brown, so I'm going to let it sit here for a little bit and cook. I'm going to start, as you can see, I've got 3 to 5 cloves of garlic and 1 to 2 bay leaves, depending on the size bay leaves. You're going to need that. You're going to need 2 to 3 jalapeños, which I have here. And then of course I have my onions and my bell peppers. And then also I like to add a can of chopped tomatoes that I will be adding in a little bit later. And also some cilantro, which I have here. Already washed and clean. We're going to chop that up in a little bit. So we have everything that we need readily available. We're going to need our spices, which I'm going to bring out here in just a moment. Okay, we've got our spices out. I like to use cumin. We have the chili powder as well. The ground Cumin, which is the same thing as cumin. I just don't know if I have enough in this container. But as you can see, I like the Fiesta brand. You can find it in the Mexican section at Walmart or wherever you shop. If you go to a high-end store like Tom Thumb and Whole Foods, they're not going to have this, I don't think. Walmart, El Rancho, those places have these types. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of this Carné Guisada seasoning into our meat, as you can see it. Just to give it all this is flavor. You don't want to meat just and not have any flavor. As you can see, it's getting nicely brown. As you can see here, let me show you.
Those of you that are wanting to know about measurements, you have to taste it as you go.
This is home style cooking. This is not measured. Some of it's measured, but usually just go by sight and by smell. As you can see, it's starting to brown up a little bit. So what I want is for all the pink to be gone. I'll let that cook some more. Always wash your hands when you're dealing with jalapeños. Once you're finished chopping it. I like to put in 2 because I don't like the dish too hot. I just want a good flavor. So I cut it in half, and then I cut it in half again, and then, as you can see, I work around the seeds. Gotta wash this one real fast. So you can see how we do it. Chop off the stem. I cut it in half around, and then in half again. Just like that. Okay, and then I'll work around the seeds. It's always good to have a good pair of knives as well. See how easy that was? Take those seeds out. Adrian's going to stir the meat up a little bit. So she's stirring the meat, making sure that it doesn't burn. Rustic chop. You know, I'm not professionally trained. I don't think anybody I know is. Plus, it's more home style cooking. Everybody likes the way mom cooks. And so I learned a lot of my cooking from mom. And of course, I worked in a restaurant too for a while. So I'm used to cooking in big batches. So I like it when I'm cooking at least 4 to 5 pounds of meat at one time, or 10 to 20 pounds. Like for a big party, wedding, or whatever. There are a few seeds in here, but not much to matter. So you can see a rustic chop. This little contraption is really good also to help you pick everything up. I'm going to mix it in with my onions and my bell peppers. Okay, put that back to the side. And then I'm going to chop up my cloves of garlic, mince those up. I have my leaves here. I like to smash them first to release the oils. I don't like a lot of fresh garlic, but for this case I usually make the exception. So you just mince it up real small. Careful not to cut yourself. Normally I would just put one in there, but because this is a lot of meat, I'm putting in a little bit more. And just go back through and keep chopping it until it gets really small. Nobody likes to get a big chunk of garlic. I don't, especially. Then we're going to go to the cupboard and we're going to pull out a can of stewed tomatoes. This is pretty small. You see that? That's good enough. Okay. So now I'm going to put it in my little thingy here where the bay leaves are. Because those go in last, you don't want them to burn. Garlic burns very easily. So put that in there. Put my two bay leaves there. Then I'm going to get my can of stewed tomatoes, or diced tomatoes. Cumin ramble. So that's fine. We're done with this one. Let's see if that meat's browned up yet. Almost. Like I said, I want the pink to be gone because it's going to cook for another 3 hours. At least another 3 hours. This meat was cut very thin at the supermarket. Of course, I got this meat at a rancho, which is where I like it because they have the shoulder roast there. And if you don't clean your meat off too good, you know, you might get some chewy pieces. Like I see a piece here with a lot of fat. If you don't want a chewy piece of meat, then you have to cut that off. See that? Right there on the edge. But that's okay. It gives it more flavor. Some fat is okay. that cook a little bit more.
Okay.
Now I'm going to cut up my cilantro, which I don't like a lot of cilantro either. I don't like stems, so just FYI. So if you're going to put it in your food, you know, I like it. It's a rough chop as well, but it calls for about a cup or so. Like we said earlier, we're just going to eyeball it. That's the home style method of doing that. And like I said, I don't like a lot of cilantro, so we're just going to put in a little bit, mainly for flavor and for color, I think. My mom didn't use a lot of cilantro when we were growing up either, but yeah, it got popular later. So we got that, so now I'm going to roughly chop that up. Usually about, you have to have a good knife. See, it's hard to cut cilantro. So you have to get real close, careful not to cut yourself. See how it's getting smaller? The little stems are getting smaller. Like I said, I like a rough chop. For this amount of meat, usually it's about a cup, but I'm using maybe, this looks like about 1/4 of a cup. Because like I said, I don't like a lot of cilantro. It's nicely brown, as you can see here. So now I'm going to put it into this pan here, because we're going to use the juices and all that stuff. It might be a little bit pink in some areas, but like I said, it's going to be cooking for 3 more hours at least. So let's take a break for another second again.
Okay.
Now that we're back, as you can see, it only came out to 1/3 of a cup of cilantro, which is perfect for me. Okay? So that's all we're going to do. Roughly chopped cilantro. Now we're going to take 2 more tablespoons of oil to put in the pan, which is empty of the meat. We're using the same pan because it's got the little stuff at the bottom, little leftovers, meat and juice parts, which are going to be, which had nothing but flavor. You don't want to clean that out. You can see how hot the meat is steaming over here. It smells already really good, doesn't it, Adrian?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I'm going to put in the onions and the jalapeños. I'm going to turn it up a little bit.
What size of the fire do you need?
Medium, between medium and high, like a medium high. So jalapeños, bell peppers, and onions are in here. I'm going to put that in there. And then, hold on, let's take a break. Okay, for 10 minutes we're going to let this saute in the pan. I use a timer because you don't want it to turn to mush, but you want it to start cooking. So I turned up the pan a little bit. So we'll let that start cooking. Now remember, we pre-seasoned the meat as well with salt, fresh cracked pepper, a little bit of Fiesta Carné Guisada mix. And so then after about 10 minutes, then we're going to throw in the crushed garlic, or the chopped up garlic. And then after that, we're going to throw the meat in, and then we're going to throw in all the rest of our ingredients, including I forgot one important ingredient, including beef broth. Now you can use water if you want to, but if you use water, the flavor is not as good. So I like to use beef broth. You can get the Walmart brand or the Swanson's brand. So I'm going to get that out of here. We have a few more minutes left here. Actually, still about 5 or 6 minutes. As you can see, it's starting to cook now. Just stirring it around, getting all those little bits and pieces of flavor. I got the beef broth. You know, I use Great Value or Swanson's, whichever. Now it calls for 2 cups of beef broth. So for 2 cups, it's about almost 3/4 of one of these. So I'll just kind of measure it right now. It's been about 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the garlic. Like I said, I don't really like garlic that much, but I put it in there. That. Now I'm going to add in, let me get my tablespoons. I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of cumin, which I have it already ground up, Fiesta brand. So 1 tablespoon of that. Sometimes I put a little bit more, like a heaping scoop. Throw that in there. And I'm going to put in a tablespoon of chili powder, which I have right here, the Fancy Light Fiesta brand again. That one I'm going to put the exact size because sometimes this is too much. Chili powder, and then from there I'm going to put in the cilantro, which is here. Throw that in there. Got that all out. After the cilantro, then I'm going to put in the bay leaves, which are right here. Throw that in there. Then I'm going to put in my can of tomatoes, 14 ounces or so, with the juice. I always like it with tomatoes. Then from there, I'm going to put in the beef broth. Okay. So when I put in the beef broth, it's 2 cups of the juice. And then I had a little bit of extra left over, so I'm just going to throw it in there. Just gives it a little bit more flavoring. I had a container that was already kind of open. Now you're going to mix all that up. Now remember, I already salted and peppered the meat. So with all these other ingredients. Also, remember I told you about the Nor beef bouillon, more flavoring. It also has salt in there as well. So I'm going to throw that in there, and it'll dissolve. You might want to break it up a little bit. It'll dissolve when it starts boiling again. So it can boil, and I'm going to throw the meat back in there, okay? So we're throwing the meat back in there with the juices and all. I'm not leaving it back now. Can you see how that looks? So we're going to let it come to a boil, and then it's going to simmer until about, I started this process at about 1:30, so it's now 2:38. So see, it's already taken an hour to get all this to this point, so it needs about 3 more hours, 2 to 3 more hours, depending on how good your pot is. That's why I said it's important to have a good quality pot, because if you have one that's a cheaper kind of a pot, the meat won't cook as well, won't cook as even. This is a Dutch oven, a Le Creuset Dutch oven that was given to us as a gift, and it evenly heats all the meat. So you see the color of the meat. Also, I don't like a gray looking Carné Guisada. I like it more reddish, with the tomatoes. So that's why I like to put in the can of tomatoes as well. So we're just going to let it do its thing now. We're going to let it come to a boil, and then we're going to let it go to the simmer. So we're going to take a quick break. Okay, we're back. As you can see, the meat is boiling. Okay, it's come to a boil, and it smells really good. If you can smell this, you can say it smells like how mom cooks. So now we're going to turn it down to a simmer. Now the process is a long process. Like I said, now I'm going to turn it down between low and medium, which is about right there. And you leave it uncovered. If you covered it, all the steam is going to cause more juice to go in there, and it'll make it real watery. About the 3rd hour in, almost when it's finishing up, I'm going to put a little bit of flour in there to thicken up the gravy. So if you want it kind of thick, you can add the flour in there to make like a thick gravy. Now, if you're watching your diet and all that, this is all, the only thing that's bad in here is maybe the oil. And it's canola oil, and that's better for you. Other than that, this is a healthy a healthy meal with all the vegetables and everything that goes in it. The only not so good part might be the flour, which I am going to add the flour because I don't like it runny. I like it thick. So we're just going to let it simmer, which is what it looks like now. If you can look here at the meat, you see it's barely bubbling. So we're going to let that do that for about 2 to 3 hours. This pan cooks really good, so it might be done in 2 hours versus 3 to 4. So we'll check it out and we'll see. We'll be back in a little bit to let you know how it turned out.
Hey guys, I'm back. We're still waiting on the guiso. Vivian has joined us. Here's Joe in the back.
25 minutes left.
Okay, Vivian has arrived. I stopped by Starbucks because your girl's tired.
Mom's still taking a nap.
Yeah, Mom's still taking it out. And we're trying out this pumpkin muffin from Starbucks.
It's
Joe,
good.
what did you think?
It was good.
I haven't.
It wasn't.
What do you think?
It's not as good as homemade, but it's good.
It's okay. I don't like the cream in the middle.
Okay, well, the cream, I don't know, but we're taking a bite.
I started mashed potatoes too, and Mexican rice.
This is good. This tastes like their pumpkin bread.
So
I like it.
It's good.
No, I'm allergic to all this stuff, so that's why I shared. I shared.
I started Ibotta, and nobody knows anything about it.
Okay, explain to us what Ibotta is.
Okay, well,
Hold on, wait. I have to tell y'all, Joe is the least person technical with anything on the phone. So him trying to get an app is really funny, but very interesting. I'm proud of you.
no, my friend Brenda from work had to
Shout out to
download-
Brenda.
Had to download it for me and show me how to do everything every step of the way. So I went to the store. Yeah, I picked out a list, went to the store, and got my receipts. And so I'm asking my other sister here. So how do I do this?
I walk in and he's immediately like, can you show me how to work this Ibotta app? And I'm like, Ibotta. And I'm like, Ibotta what?
Wait, I know. I'm like, what's it called? Ibotta? Like, I bought it? And he's like, no, Ibotta.
It's Ibotta.
Like a Ibotta does an egg.
Oh.
Yes.
I get
So
you now.
my friend saved like $140 or $240 on her app. Of course, that's probably about a month or two of shopping. Well, we do a lot of shopping, so I can use that money.
Yeah.
Towards a gift card, like she said. And so,
I've already decided it's way too much work.
Let me figure it out. Stay tuned.
Alright, so we're back. It's been about 3.5, 4 hours since we started doing our stew here, our beef guiso. As you can see, it's gotten thick.
When did you put the flour in? We missed it.
I never put the flour in because I thought, you know what, I'm just going to wait, and it got thick on its own. I tasted it about an hour and a half ago, and I felt like the meat was still a little tough, but I just tasted it again, and it has come out really soft. So I'm going to let Adrian taste, give it a little taste. One little piece there. Go ahead. It's not that hot.
Oh, it's not? Hold on, let me prepare. Oh yeah,
soft?
good.
Yeah, very soft. This is how you want it. See how thick it is?
It fell apart in my mouth, guys.
Like brisket, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep it covered because we're going to serve homemade mashed potatoes, which we just made. Okay.
Vivian mashed those up
Yes.
and seasoned them and everything.
Of course, I peeled them, put them in the water, salt and pepper in the water.
Okay.
And then I'm making Mexican rice here, which will be ready in about 10 minutes. or
Which
so.
we can't lift that lid up.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to have, and then we were going to make tortillas, but we have store-bought ones instead today. All right. Peace out. So now we're going to look at the rice to see if it's done yet. Look, from the looks of it, this is why I like glass top, so you can see through your pot, see what you're doing here. So it looks like it's perfectly steamed out, no juice. You can't see any juice coming up, so I would
Looks
have
good.
to say it looks perfect. So we're going to get ready to eat supper. So this is us signing out. Have a good
Thank
day.
you for watching.